Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at how to crochet the kiss stitch. We're going to be making a sample, a square, out of this little stitch. It's a 2-row repeat. I'll be using a stitch count of 23 on each row, which means we'll need a starting chain of 25 to begin. It is actually made in multiples of 3 plus 2 plus 2. If you would like to make a different stitch count for your project. At the end, I'll be working a simple single crochet border, as I'll be using this little square for a future project I've got in mind, so you may want to refer back to that at a later date. Right, let's begin. Begin by making a length of 25 chains. Yarn over and skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insert your hook in the 6th chain from your hook and then yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 and chain 1. Then yarn over and now working back on yourself, skip the double crochet and that chain and into the next chain along, insert your hook under there and work another double crochet. So you've crossed your double crochets over. Next, yarn over and skip 2. 1, 2. Insert your hook in the next chain and work another double crochet. Chain 1, yarn over, come back on yourself, skip the double crochet and the next chain into the next chain along, work a double crochet, crossing over your double crochets. And repeat. Yarn over, skip 2, insert your hook in the next chain and work another double crochet. Chain 1, yarn over, come back on yourself, skip the double crochet in the next chain, insert your hook into the next chain along and double crochet. So repeat this sequence to the end of row 1. This is how it's looking. And you finish with a double crochet in the last chain, and that completes row 1. You should have a total of 7 kiss stitches on row 1. The little chains here at the end count as a double crochet. Okay, for row 2, there's no need to do a chain 1. We can just turn our work and go straight ahead by putting a single crochet into the very first stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, and then a single crochet into the chain space between the crossed double crochets, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and single crochet into the chain space, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, single crochet into the chain space, and you repeat this sequence to the end of row 2. Row 3 is worked exactly the same as row 1, apart from the fact we're working into stitches rather than chains. So it's a 2-row repeat, and you repeat rows 2 and 3 until you reach row 15 if you wish to make a little square. Almost at the end now. You'll work into your top chain, and that completes row 2. For row 3, we can start with 2 chains and turn. That will count as a double crochet. So we're repeating row 1 now, so we need to skip 2. 1, 2, and work a double crochet into the next stitch. So skip 1, 2, double crochet into our next stitch. Chain 1, come back on ourselves, skipping over the double crochet and that stitch and working into the next one, working our double crochet into that next one. Once again, skip 2, 1, 2, and double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 2, working back on yourself, and double crochet into the next one. Skip 2, double crochet into your next one. Chain 1, come back on yourself, skip 2, double crochet into the next stitch. And this is how it's looking. Okay, so continue the sequence to the end and I'll meet you in a sec. So I've reached the end of row 3, and if we look here, the little bar, just pop your hook underneath the last stitch and work a double crochet. So you continue now repeating row 2 and 3 until you reach row 15. So your next row, you start with a single crochet. So go ahead, just repeat these 2 rows and I'll see you at the end of row 15. So I've finished row 15. We should have 8 rows of kiss stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just go ahead, snip your yarn. I've already snipped mine off camera. And then yarn over and pull through. And that completes a little square of the kiss stitch. Now because we didn't start with a single crochet row, that means we're going to get a really nice row of single crochets framing this little stitch. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to work a single crochet border. To make the single crochet border, your work needs to be right side facing. So we fastened off here. If you can see here, these are the backs of your single crochets. So I prefer this side for the actual front side of the kiss stitch. So now, instead of working our border in a corner, I actually prefer to start anywhere in any of these top stitches because I finish with an invisible join. So I'm just going to insert my hook into this stitch and join in my yarn. So lay your yarn at the back, just pull it through, chain one, and then work a single crochet back into that same stitch, like so, and just give that a little tug. Now we're going to single crochet in each stitch along the top. It's okay to go into the one chain space with a single crochet. So go ahead, single crochet all the way across to the next corner. In each corner we're going to place 3 single crochets. You have a stitch count of 23 throughout your project. So we're going to aim now to get 23 stitches on each side. So we'll be fine across the top and the bottom, but we need to make sure down each side we get 23. So if we look here, 1, 2, we can say that this could be our corner. So we put 3 single crochets into there. And then if we single crochet into the next stitch down the side and then into the single crochet just there, we can aim to pop 2 single crochets into the kiss stitch, the end of the kiss stitch row. Just space them out as evenly as you can and aim to get 23 single crochets down the side. Yeah, this is how it's looking. So work down to the next corner and I'll meet you there. So I've almost reached the bottom corner, but what I'm going to do is have a quick count. So this is our corner stitch, the middle of the 3, so we don't count that. We need 23 down the side, so we count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So we have a little look here. That would be 21, 22 and 23. We can space that out really nicely. So we go 21, 22, and then 23. actually going to try and go under 2 loops here. There we go. And because it's a corner, we need to do a total of 3 single crochets in that corner. And then you just work across the base. You can see here you've got your stitches here, and then if you aim to put a stitch between your crossed double crochets, go between the crossed double crochet now, and then into the base of what would have been your double crochets, and then in between, and then you should find you have 23 single crochets in total across the base as well. This is how it's looking. Okay, so continue across the base and I'll meet you at the next corner. So if we count, this is our corner. We don't count the corner stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and then we are at the corner. And here we need to place 3 single crochets. 2 and 3. And then we just work up this side, placing our stitches evenly until we get to the top here. So go ahead, work up this side as well. Once again, have a little look. Aim to put 2 single crochets on your kiss stitch row and just 1 on your single crochet row. So I've just had a quick count and I've got 20, so we need 21, 22, and then in this top corner stitch we need our 23rd. And because it's a corner, we do need to put 3 stitches in there, 3 single crochets. Now we just work across the top of our work, single crochets, until we get to where we started. And then we'll finish with an invisible join. Okay, so continue. Just checking now to see if this is where we start. This is where we started here. So yes, so that's our last stitch there. This is where we began. Right, so we'll start now just to show you how to finish off with the invisible join. So first of all, you snip your yarn and just pull through, and then thread your needle. I just thread my needle off camera, and then we're going to bring the yarn over this first stitch and under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, like so. Just bring the yarn back into the stitch that we started, going through the back loop, and that creates a front and back loop, so it's almost invisible. Then if you just rotate your work a little, you can find this a little loop just at the back here. Just bring your yarn through. However, just check again that that little loop is how you want it, and then just weave in, and you'll have completed a little invisible join. So weave in however you normally do. Again, not too tightly, just so you don't distort the stitches. And then snip, and then just weave in all the remaining ends. Just have a little check here. There we go. So that's perfect for when we're joining the squares together, if you are joining squares together. Right, so that completes the little square. You just go ahead now and weave in your ends, and that's framed it really nicely. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.